Hi, welcome to Take 5, where we daily consider devotional thoughts from Oswald Chambers' book, My Utmost for His Highest. Today is April 21st, and the title of today's devotional is, Don't Hurt the Lord. Have I been with you so long, and yet you have not known me, Philip? John 14 and verse 9. Dr. Chambers opens with, Our Lord must be repeatedly astounded at us, astounded at how unsimple we are. It is our own opinions that make us dense and slow to understand, but when we are simple, we are never dense. We have discernment all the time. The focus verse is from John 14 in the conversation held in the upper room during the last meal that Jesus shared with his apostles prior to his arrest and crucifixion. It's likely that all who are a part of this study time are aware that on the third day following Jesus' death that he rose from the grave. We have an advantage over the 11 apostles who were sitting with him at the dinner table. We likewise may judge them, saying that had we been there, we wouldn't have been so ignorant of what he was saying. That's very presumptive on our part. Further, in Mark 6 and verse 52, it speaks of how their minds were still dull to all that was going on. The disciples had a different take on how this was all going to play out. Their view was of war and government overthrow and Christ being their leader, as was King David. Here in John 14, Jesus tells them that if they know him, then they know God. Chambers continues, Philip expected the future revelation of a tremendous mystery, but not in Jesus, the person he thought he already knew. The mystery of God is not in what is going to be, it is now, though we look for it to be revealed in the future in some overwhelming, momentous event. As for us, Dr. C says, we have no reluctance to obey Jesus, but it is highly probable that we are hurting him by what we ask. Lord, show us the Father, John 14 and verse 8. His response immediately comes back to us as he says, can't you see him? He is always right here. He is nowhere to be found. We look for God to exhibit himself to his children, but God only exhibits himself in his children. This echoes Paul's words to the Colossians, the mystery which has been hidden from the past ages and generations, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. Colossians 1, verses 25 through 27. Christ in you, the hope of glory. Christ's salvation is of eternal purpose and not merely earthly power. OC works to correct our thinking with, and while others see the evidence, the child of God does not. We want to be fully aware of what God is doing in us, but we cannot have complete awareness and expect to remain reasonable and balanced in our expectations of him. The depth of what Dr. C is sharing here is absolutely over the top, for he is saying you cannot stay as you are while which is like everyone else, and actually see the greatness of God. If you have felt kind of confused up to this point, strongly consider his next statement. Let not your heart be troubled, John 14 and verse 1. Am I then hurting Jesus by allowing my heart to be troubled? If I believe in Jesus and his attributes, am I living up to my belief? Am I allowing anything to disturb my heart? Or am I allowing any questions to come which are unsound or unbalanced? This is the point that Chambers is drawing. When one says that they trust God, yet still have doubts as to if everything will be all right, Jesus said, for this reason, I said to you, do not be worried about your life, Matthew 6 and verse 25. But if we continue to be worrisome, how does that express confidence in God? How does it express our faith? How does it make us different from everyone else? Chambers tells his reader that I have to get to the point of absolute and unquestionable relationship that takes everything exactly as it comes from him. God never guides us at some time in the future, but always here and now. Realize that the Lord is here and now, and that the freedom you receive is immediate. If you haven't yet read today's devotional from Dr. Chambers' book, I encourage you to do so, for it will enhance the time that we spend together. It's available free online. If you have any questions or comments over today's study, please share them below, and also please share prayer requests as well. And now may God's grace and peace be ours as we seek to live our utmost for his highest. Thanks for being here today. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye now.